While people who never even met Charlie Kirk are still staying up late trying to make sense of his sudden and tragic death, one detail keeps pulling attention in the opposite direction. His widow Erica appears calm, composed, almost untouched by the chaos unfolding online. And now, new claims are spreading that have people asking a question that won't go away. What if Charlie had already uncovered something before his final days that changed everything? It all began with a viral wave of online speculation suggesting that Charlie and Erica's marriage may not have been as solid as it appeared in public. Multiple posts and videos claimed that the couple had been quietly preparing for a divorce just days before Charlie's death. None of this has been confirmed through public records, but that didn't stop the conversation from exploding. According to these rumors, Charlie himself may have initiated the separation, and when people noticed that the couple had reportedly sold their Arizona home earlier that year, questions only grew louder. Some online even claimed they were already living apart. But the divorce rumors weren't what truly shocked people. What came next pushed the story into a completely different territory. Screenshots began circulating online, described by posters as pages from Charlie's private journal or personal notes. Whether real or not remains unverified, but the reaction was immediate. The alleged entries painted a picture of a man who felt shaken, someone who believed there were things about his marriage and possibly his inner circle that didn't add up. The internet quickly labeled the leak a game changer, not because it proved anything, but because it shifted how people interpreted everything that came before it. That's when fans started rewatching old clips, and suddenly, moments that once seemed harmless felt uncomfortable. One clip in particular kept resurfacing. Charlie casually asks Erica about their wedding date. She freezes for a moment, laughs nervously, and brushes it off, saying there were too many dates to remember. At the time, no one thought twice about it. Now, viewers see tension. Some believe Charlie was testing her. Others think he already sensed something was off. Around that same period, people noticed Charlie's demeanor changing. He appeared more guarded, more distant, like someone who had started questioning more than just politics. And according to people who claim they were close to the couple, that shift wasn't subtle behind the scenes. Several sources later alleged that the picture-perfect marriage image didn't reflect reality. They described frequent tension, arguments that spilled into work environments, and a growing power imbalance. Some even claimed that months before Charlie's death, Erica had already begun taking on a leadership role inside Turning Point USA. She was allegedly holding meetings, giving directives, and speaking as if she were already in control. At the same time, Charlie was reportedly pulling away from certain donors and supporters, canceling meetings, and distancing himself from people he once trusted. That change didn't sit well with everyone, especially as Erica's public presence continued to grow. As attention intensified, people began revisiting Erica's background, her career before meeting Charlie, her media appearances, her family's connections. All of it was publicly known information, but now viewed through a different lens. Online theories began forming, clearly framed as speculation. Was their meeting really a coincidence? Was the timing as organic as it seemed? And why had Erica remained noticeably silent on certain issues Charlie had become increasingly vocal about in his final months? Those questions only multiplied after his death. Instead of stepping back from the spotlight, Erica moved forward quickly. Interviews, media appearances, carefully worded statements. She even spoke publicly about forgiveness, which confused many supporters who were still processing what had happened. Behind the scenes, leadership changes at Turning Point USA reportedly happened fast. Longtime allies were gone, new faces appeared. Critics described it as a quiet rewrite happening in real time. And that's when Candace Owens stepped back into the conversation. Candace didn't make accusations. She asked questions. She pointed out inconsistencies. She challenged the silence. In one statement, she said something felt off, and that alone reignited everything. Fans began digging through old footage, posts, and interviews, searching for clues. Candace suggested that Charlie had been worried about being silenced, and that some people close to him were not who they claimed to be. Again, no proof was offered publicly, but the implication was enough to keep the conversation alive. Around the same time, an old clip resurfaced of Charlie talking about betrayal. He didn't name anyone, but his words hit differently after everything that happened. He said the deepest pain doesn't come from enemies. It comes from the people who swear they'd never hurt you. For many viewers, hearing that again felt chilling. Then came claims of a possible separation agreement in progress, one that allegedly would have given Erica partial control over certain assets even before a divorce was finalized. That detail, if true, suggested this situation may have been unfolding quietly for months, while the public saw only smiling photos and polished appearances online. What confused people even more was how quickly Erica appeared to move on. Photos surfaced of her attending high-profile events and retreats, smiling beside new business partners. Social media immediately erupted with questions. How was she able to move forward so fast? Why did her messaging feel so rehearsed? And why did her statements sound more like legal briefings than personal reflections? Meanwhile, Candace Owens continued pressing for transparency, pointing out that the very issues Charlie was most passionate about had suddenly gone silent. And supporters noticed something else. The organization Charlie helped build no longer spoke about the things he had been pushing hardest to expose. Instead, the focus shifted to unity, healing, and moving forward. That silence felt loud. Some former insiders even claimed that after Charlie's death, emergency meetings took place not to honor him, but to manage the narrative. Staff were allegedly told to avoid certain topics and remove older content referencing issues Charlie had been vocal about. Whether true or not, the pattern unsettled many longtime supporters. When Erica finally took the stage as the face of the organization, people expected raw emotion. What they saw instead felt polished, controlled, carefully scripted. She didn't mention Charlie's growing concerns or the causes he had been most outspoken about near the end. Viewers noticed immediately. Comments flooded in, questioning why those parts of him were missing from the story. And that's when even neutral observers began to shift. What once looked like a grieving widow continuing her husband's legacy began to feel, to some, like a rebranding, a replacement rather than a continuation. And as more timelines, clips, and alleged internal messages surfaced online, one uncomfortable question lingered over everything. Was this transition always planned? No one has proven anything. No official documents have been released. But patterns matter. Silence matters. And when a story changes too quickly, people notice. Charlie's legacy, to many, now feels less remembered and more rewritten. And the more polished the narrative becomes, the harder it is for the public to ignore what's missing. The truth is, this case is still filled with unanswered questions about the timeline, about the relationships, about the sudden shifts in power. And until those questions are addressed openly, people aren't going to stop asking them. Because when reactions don't align, when silence replaces transparency, and when the pieces don't quite fit, curiosity only grows stronger. And no matter how carefully a story is managed, the truth has a way of resurfacing. So what really happened in Charlie Kirk's final months? Was it personal betrayal, political pressure, or something far more complicated? We may not have the full picture yet, but one thing is clear. This story is far from over. And as more people dig, whatever's been buried won't stay hidden forever. Stay tuned.